If your retirement goal is age 70, odds are you won't make it by Bonnie Dickson. If you haven't retired, you probably have a goal for when you will. Retirement isn't on my horizon for at least 5 years, and better would be if it was 9 years before retirement. Honestly, I won't pay off my home until I'm 65. I have plans to make some changes to my house and would rather not pay for them while I am on a limited income. Then, too, unless we see major changes in Social Security, I won't hit full retirement age for Social Security until I am 68, and I don't expect that number to go down in the next 8 years. There are other good reasons to postpone. Medicare doesn't kick in until 65, so retiring early means finding a way to pay for medical benefits. And the real kicker is most Americans don't save nearly enough, and a little more time can be super beneficial. A Transamerica survey found that 56% of retirees retired sooner than planned, and only 37% retired on their own schedule. Why? Unfortunately, we don't always get to choose when we retire or even why. Medical issues, family members with medical issues, jobs that go away, and life. They all get in the way of the dream, or at least the aspiration. Only 21% retired earlier than planned because they were financially able to do so. Health and layoffs are the two most significant reasons. Since the beginning of this year alone, 30,000 federal employees have been laid off or fired. But it hasn't just been the government. So far, in the first couple of months of 2025, Starbucks, Chevron, JP Morgan Chase, and other similar sized companies have laid off 50,000 people. People often think that they are going to work part-time jobs for a while so they can gradually leave the workforce. But where are the part-time jobs for older workers? And many older workers find that part-time work means taking a pay cut, something they might think they are willing to do until they must do it. So you must plan. Despite years and years of agencies and companies telling people that they must save, Americans just don't do it. And while we plan for children, plan for school, and plan for the weekend, we mostly don't do anything to plan to retire other than mark our 65th birthday on a calendar. If you wish to do it right, you must put some time and energy into it and figure out when you really can afford to retire. Here's another option. Plan to retire early, and if you retire later, you'll benefit from the additional income or the ability to change plans. So, des- so decide you want to retire at 70, but determine that any work after the age of 67 is a bonus. Focus on broad retirement goals. Save aggressively later in life, but save always. Sometimes saving becomes easier as we age. Most of us make more money in the longer we have held a job, and at the same time, we have fewer expenditures because our kids have grown. We've finished paying off school. We've accumulated all the things we thought we needed, etc. Don't get caught up in the numbers. There are tons of articles out there that will tell you that you need to save $1 million in order to have enough money in retirement. If there were an equal number telling you that you should have $1 million before having children, you could almost bet that no one would have children. One of my grandfather's favorite poems talked about a man and a woman getting married. He carried a cane. She was missing her teeth, but the two of them had waited to get married until they could afford it. Work to stay healthy. The single most expensive thing you will ever have to pay for is your health. As we get older, our health often starts failing, so working to be the most healthy we can be can postpone the inevitable doctor bills and doctor visits, the need for help to do routine things, and the need to move to a location where we will be safe and cared for. If you can only invest in one thing, invest in your health. Keep skills up to date so you don't become obsolete. COVID killed more than people. People who couldn't find ways to improve their skills or stay relevant when businesses closed started requiring workers to work remote or change their procedures, didn't return to work. Get educated about finances. One of the most important things you can do to prepare for life in retirement is to fully understand 401k plans, Social Security, and other retirement plans. No one cares more about your financial situation than you. If you are married and your spouse usually handles the monetary aspect of your marriage, it's time that burden becomes shared. About 60% of Americans cited Social Security as their primary source of income. If you file for Social Security early, you are cutting an already small paycheck into even smaller pieces. In contrast, only about 10% of Americans have 401k or IRAs as their main source of income after retirement. Finally, and this may be the most important part of that survey, the study indicated that despite smaller paychecks, most people enjoy their retirement. It turns out that most Americans just really enjoy having the freedom to do the things they've always wanted to do, even if they have less money to do it with.